Yo, welcome back to the car talk. So I know it's been a while, a lot's changed in the car as you can see, but as I've had it for 6 months, I think now is the time to do a review on what I like, what I don't like, and what's coming. So enough talking, let's get into it. Yo, so we're back in the M3 Comp F80 stage 1, and as I said, it's been a while since I've done a video. A lot has changed on the car, and I thought now I've owned it for about 6 months now, it's time to give a little owner's review of how I'm finding this car. And first thing I have to say is, all round, it is an amazing car. Anybody who's driven an M3 Competition, owned one, sat in one as a passenger will know that these are fantastic cars, but there's some specific things which I think make it great, and there's a few things, just a few, which I think could be improved. So first things first, probably the most important aspect is the engine and performance. And let me say, as stock, you know, it's an amazing car. You've got a 3-litre twin turbo engine bringing you 450 brake horsepower, a heck of a lot of torque, 500 odd newton meters of torque. What a machine it is. And the handling, top notch. The gearbox, which I'll come on in a bit later, has some problems, but all in all, great gearbox. You know, you get the power transition through all the gears, and it's an amazing machine. And anybody who's owned one, driven one, been a passenger in one, knows that M3 is a top car. One of the big reasons why I got the car was the entry price. So I picked up this car under £40,000, you know, mid to late 30,000 pounds, with only 18,000 miles on the clock, competition pack. The paint was immaculate, the alloys were immaculate, the interior was, everything was immaculate, and for that price, it was a no-brainer. And I don't know any other car you can get with this performance for that price. You know, it's still an absolute bargain. You know, with that low mileage on it, with this performance, and obviously everything you can do to it. You know, the list is endless, and the way you can take the car, it's an absolute no-brainer. And I challenge you now. You know, find me a car for, let's say, £37,000 with low mileage. That's got a performance of an M3. You know, for that price, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, it's an absolutely epic car for that price. It's an absolute no-brainer. And also, you know, I check the prices regularly. You know, they're not dropping in value yet. Not dropping in value at all. You know, it's held its price point. With the new M3 model coming out early next year, it may take a slight hit. But I don't know any current M3 owners or M4 owners who are absolutely dying to get into that new model. There's obviously the big front grille issue which is putting people off, so you know, I think for at least another year and a half, you know, these cars are going to hold their value well, and you're not going to, you know, completely blow your money in depreciation. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting in an M3, now is the time. Jump in, get a 2017 or 2018 model, and yeah, have some fun. So for me, you know, sitting in the car, you know, knowing it's not depreciating by the month, which what my Porsche Macan was doing. Literally every month the price was taking a hit, and when I sold it I took a hit on that. But yeah, I've actually never lost money on a BMW car, never. And yeah, this car is definitely not the same. You know, right now I'm looking at, you know, making a bit of money on it, which is amazing. I'm not looking to sell it just yet, but yeah, you know, knowing that your car's not depreciating out of his arse is a good sign. Now the next thing that I love about this car, and I have to say, I might be a bit biased, but it's the exterior looks of the car. For me, in terms of a saloon, a performance saloon, you can't beat an M3. It stands out, you can see it as it's coming towards you, know straight away that's an M3 approaching you. The exterior ticks all the boxes. It's aggressive, it's iconic, it stands out from the crowd, and obviously, you know, what BMW offer you in terms of aftermarket parts is amazing. You can actually truly make the car exactly how you want it. And obviously there's other companies out there which offer aftermarket parts for M cars as well, so the list is endless. You know, I picked this car up, it was black, silver alloys, no carbon bits on it. It was literally just pure stock, and I've been able to completely transform it through aftermarket parts and make it look unique to my own. So obviously I've got the front splitter on there, I've got the carbon wing caps, I painted the alloys matte black, put the carbon CS spoiler on it, got a rear diffuser on it, and I've managed to make it look unique. And then obviously I've gone to another step and I've got the satin red wrap on it to really make it pop and really make it stand out. And I don't know many other cars what you can get away with in terms of sports saloons. You can get away with and really customise it and make it your own, especially not easily. I don't know any company that offers an aftermarket and parts offering that BMW does. I may be wrong, but I think, you know, BMW really tick the boxes in terms of allowing you to make your car unique. So for me, you know, when you see not just an M3 but any M car, most of the owners have customised it. You know, you rarely see just a completely stock, non-modified exterior M car. You know, they allow you to really make it your own, and that for me brings a joy. You pick up the car, you can then easily customise it. You have a vision, you can easily customise it how you want. So for me, yeah, it ticks all the boxes, and that's another reason why this is a top car to own and a top car to keep. So thoroughly enjoyed it for the 6 months. So the next thing that I really enjoyed about this car is obviously the tuning capabilities. You know, a lot of people know that M cars are built to be tuned, built to be modified, and you can get a lot more performance out of it. And for me, I think it's good that you have the option that you can safely and easily tune a car like this. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of companies that are well experienced in tuning M cars, so you know you'll be in safe hands most of the time. And the opportunities are endless. I'm at stage 1 now. You know, we're looking at 500 brake horsepower, 600 newton meters of torque, and that is really just the bottom line of where you can go with it. You know, there's potentially stage 2 where we could push it to about 600 brake horse, 700 newton meters of torque, get some downpipes in, and really take it to the next level. And also we've got stage 3 and beyond. You want to really push it that far. So you know, it's exciting to see that you've got a car here and you can actually take it to a completely different level. So for me, that's another reason, you know, another reason why I really enjoyed this car. You know, I'm constantly looking at the numbers, constantly looking at what I can improve, how I can do it, what parts I can add to it, and yeah, there's potentially a lot more to come. So that's another reason why it's an exciting car to own. The way this car handles round corners, holds during straights, is a pure joy to drive. And there's not much really I can really say on that. I mean, it's a great performing car, it's what you'd expect, and for a saloon, you know, which is practical as well, 5-door, it literally ticks all the boxes. And from my personal point of view, it's been an absolute thrill to own and feel to drive. Now, I've had the stage 1 tune done on it, so I got an original tune on it from a tuning shop, which you may know if you've seen my previous videos. And on my initial drive home, I thought, yeah, this car's amazing. It's giving a bit more life to it, a bit more aggressive, you know, it's giving it that bit more performance. and the numbers that we dynoed were around 540 brake horse and 600 odd newton meters of torque. Now, after a couple of weeks, I wasn't really having that thrilling experience that I had before, even with a stock. Number one, the car was really jerky at a very low gear. So if you're pulling out of a corner, the car would be jerking you about like this, literally giving you borderline whiplash. And it seemed very limp. So you'd want to put power down, it would have a lot of turbo lag, and it just didn't really seem to have that pure force that it had before. It lost all its character. There was no pops and bangs. I tell a lie, there was pops and bangs, but at a very low rev range. So you're looking about 2,000 revs and below. So you'd be driving down the road, and you'd be coming to stop at a traffic light, and then suddenly you've got pop, 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 pop. Everyone's looking at you like, who's that fool? And it's like, yeah, that's me, sorry. So, you know, I'm not going to speak too much more on that, because I don't want to get too much into that, but I wasn't happy with that tune. So I did some research online, and I found a magician called Henry. His details will be in the description part of the video. And yeah, he took that tune off and he put a stage one on, which has literally ticked all the boxes. The car has power right from gear one. It carries the transitions of power right through. We managed to get rid of the jerkiness that was in the gearbox a little bit from the stock. It holds power consistently, and I have to say, you know, I feel that raw excitement back. And of course, we've added some pops and bangs in Sports Plus. You know, if you want to have a bit of fun, I rarely use it. It's very antisocial, but yeah, you got that character back, got that bit of fun back to it, and all round, you know, it feels just that much bit more performance and power than the stock car. Not crazy more, you know. We think, you know, we're looking at 500 brake horse and 600 newton meters of torque, not the 540 that it was previously done at, but it does feel faster, and it does feel considerably faster, because you feel it straight away, and you can feel it building up, and it doesn't feel like you're ever gonna lose power, and you know, you're just gonna keep going and going and going. And I'll tell you what, it just brings that extra bit of thrill back into it. And I'll get into it in a bit, you know, where I can take the car further. But right now, you know, for the roads, for the streets, this is tuned perfectly. I couldn't be happier. And once again, shout out again to Henry. Definitely, if you've got an M car, you have to go to him. You have to go to him, especially if you want a stage one. Little magician, works some wonders. Yeah, so as I was saying, you can be a bit antisocial with this car if you want to. I've got it set up to give me pops and bangs when I want. So let's have a listen. That's just easing you into it. Like I was saying before, in the other tune I had, you know, the lower rev range, it'd be popping and banging now, like pop, 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 which wasn't ideal. So now I've got the higher rev range to kick in. Anyway, it's a lot more appropriate. So moving on to things that I don't really like about the car. I say first and foremost, and this is well known, is the sound of the car doesn't blow you away, especially if you sat in an AMG, some Porsches, other cars. This M3 doesn't light you up with excitement when you hear it. That being said, obviously with some tuning, with some aftermarket exhausts, some decats, you can get it sounding a lot more aggressive and a bit more soul to it. But in terms of pure stock, it doesn't excite you as much as other cars would. What does excite and keeps you engaged is the way the car drives and the performance of it. So you kind of ignore that a little bit as an afterthought, but it's missing. But that being said, it's so easy to fix that. It's not a big problem. It's just a slight issue that I can pick up with the car. You know, another slight limitation for me. It's not a big one, but it's just this interior now is a bit dated. Even though personally I do like it, but you know, it's a bit dated in its look. You know, the dashboard doesn't really fill you with excitement. I say that iDrive is still a very good system to use. You've got everything you need with Apple CarPlay. Very well built, easy to use. The heads up is great as well. But you know, in terms of the car, it does feel a bit dated. But for me personally, I like the fact, you know, the dashboard isn't all digital. You know, there's not fancy LED lights all in the car making it like you're in a spaceship or something. I like the fact that, you know, it's a pure driver's car. You know, you're engaged. What you need to be doing is driving the car and not worrying about all these fancy bells and whistles. Saying that though, on the flip side, I have sat in some newer cars and been blown away by how everything's put together, some of the technology on it. So yeah, I think that's just one limitation that I picked up, other people have picked up as well, but you overcome that right away as soon as you put your foot down and start enjoying the car for driving. You forget about all that stuff. What interior limitations? Yeah, so another thing I found is everybody wants to race you. You know, I've never had this before, and it's just owned the M3, that every single person out there, a van, a bus, someone in a Prius, wants to give you a go. And yeah, they drive reckless as well. I don't know if anyone's experienced this, but these cars, they drive a lot more reckless than someone in a performance car. You know, in a performance car, you'd have a little go at the lights, whatever, you roll your windows down, have a laugh, talk about your car a little bit and keep it moving. But these other cars, trying to cut you up, doing mad things, you know, nearly crashing just to prove some kind of point. Like, it's madness. The other day, I was coming to a roundabout, left lane straight ahead, right lane right only. I was in the left lane, just minding my business. And they're coming in the right lane, trying to cut me up from the inside just to get in front of me. I've had to slam my brakes, swerve out the way, just to avoid a collision. I'm thinking, what are you doing? And that happens all the time. You know, drop a comment if that happens to you as well when you're in your cars. Like, it's crazy. You have to be so switched on. There are people out here trying to be race drivers in shitty cars and nearly causing collisions. But yeah, us performance car owners, you know, we keep it real. You know, it's usually always respectful. You know, talk about your cars, have a little go, and keep it moving. You know, yeah, that's one thing to watch out for. I've experienced it a lot. It's crazy. So yeah, if you're looking to step into a M3, have no hesitation, jump right in. You will love the car. I can't say any more really. You will not be disappointed whatsoever. But what I will say this is, if you're buying one, more than likely it will have a tune on it. That's just how it's going to be. So you think you're getting potentially a 450 brake horse car, you might be getting a 500 plus, you might even be getting a 600, not even know it. So if you haven't driven an M car, you haven't driven a high performance car before at that level, then definitely take time to get familiar with the car, get in tune with the car. And one thing about it is you get great driver feedback on it as well. You always feel like you're planted in the car, you get great feedback, and you can really feel at one with the car. So definitely take the time just to get used to it, how the car handles, you know, where the power really starts to kick in and the torque really starts to kick in as well. So you don't lose control. You know, you can have some very sticky moments in a car like this, and if you're not used to it, it can go sideways very quickly, and you know, no pun intended. But yeah, I remember one time coming home and there was literally a brand new M4 parked up in a bush. Literally had gone straight in a bush, and what had happened is the guy tried to test out launch control on a country road, had never done launch control before, and literally went straight into a bush. So yeah, I don't want any of you guys watching the video who are getting an M3, M4, M car, jumping right in and just going crazy, especially if you haven't driven a car like this before. You know, take it on some big safe roads, you know, push it, get used to it, understand it, and then you'll be at ease. You know, and even take it out on a track. I will be tracking this car very soon to really push it to the limits and really feel what this car can really do, because there's only a limit you can go to on the roads, obviously, the country roads and that. You know, you don't want to be an idiot about it. But yeah, big piece of advice, any new M car owners out there, especially M3, or if you're looking to jump in one now watching the video, take the time, enjoy the car, get used to it, and then absolutely boss it. Alright, so that's pretty much sums it all up where I'm at the moment. So 6 months in, love the performance, love the way the car looks, love the tuning capabilities, love the ability to modify the car, and love the fact that it's so easy to get into in terms of price point, and it's not depreciating out of its arse. So you can get out of it when you want to and not have lost a bucket load of money, if much, on this car. And also the way you can take it as well. So I'll take the stage 1, you know, the sky's the limit with this car, and on top of that, it's a very practical car. You know, day-to-day use, you know, it ticks all the boxes. Got a lot of space in the car, got decent boot space, can be easy used as a family car, can be easy used as just a high performance car. You pretty much can switch in between the two when you want to. And overall, when I look back, did I make the right decision buying this car? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell you what, I'm not looking to jump out of it anytime soon. In terms of a sports saloon, you know, there's maybe a C63S potentially, which might be of interest, but I think the BMW just takes it, if I'm honest, in terms of overall. You know, I think I made the right decision with this one. And the slight limitations aren't massive drawbacks. I know what we're looking at. You know, the exhaust doesn't sound great as stock. You can overcome that quite easy with aftermarket exhaust and some tuning. And the interior looks a bit dated. For me personally, it worked great, but I can see areas which could be improved. And obviously, in the newer BMW models, they've addressed that and put some fantastic technology in there. So that would never stop me buying this car. Would never stop me keeping this car. And yeah, you know, what's next? Stage 2. It's very tempting. All of this car's a lot for the streets to handle already. You know, if I'm looking to do tracks and push it further, then stage 2 is definitely where I want to be. So thanks for watching. Definitely stay tuned. More content to come, more driving days to come. You know, I was in Wales recently doing some filming and driving. They're going to take this car to explore more areas, new areas. Maybe when coronavirus calms down a bit, do a European tour, take it out there, and yeah, have more adventures. So yeah, make sure you subscribed, like the video, stay tuned. Until next time.